Hi dear friends and subscribers, welcome to the Cricket Happening Show. Well, in this Cricket Happening Show, you all know what I'm going to talk about. The Ashes has been regained by Australia yesterday when they defeated England in the third Test match by 150 runs. Thus, they already taken a winning lead in the series. They already won the series now 3-0. And one is that, as I said, Australia regained the urn from England, which they lost in 2009. So that's a proud feeling for Australia. It was great rejoicing. But one thing that I would like to say, that England battled very hard. They didn't allow, in fact, if you know, there was 1 hour and 20 minutes it took for Australia to get an English wicket, and they finally got it in the form of Matt Pryor. And the other feature of the game was Ben Stokes. Now Ben Stokes, for me, looks like a real extremely talented person. I'll be talking about him today during this particular cricket show. And he made his maiden century in his second Test match. Only in his second Test match he has already got a century under his belt, and he also became the first centurion for England in this Ashes series. Not only the centurion, he's also the highest scorer as far as England is concerned, because the previous highest was it was Joe Root, who had made 87. Well, so that is something that I'm going to definitely cover in detail. But in this particular cricket show, once that report is over of the fifth and final day on the Ashes Test series, I will turn the attention down to a brief preview, not in a very detailed way, because I'll be covering more of Australia versus England, because that is the centerpiece. And as far as the previews are concerned, there are two matches which are coming up tomorrow. One is India would be thoroughly examined by the pace and bounce of the Bullring, the Wanderers in Johannesburg, when they take on South Africa in the first Test match here there at the Bullring. And then we'll also look at the one-day international series, which is about to begin in the United Arab Emirates after the T20s were leveled 1-1 between Pakistan and Sri Lanka. So that's the first one-day international, which is coming up tomorrow. But first, let's head on to the WACA in Perth and see what happened there. Now, as you know, England started off on their overnight score, and they required another probably more than I think it was 235 runs still there for victory, and they had Ben Stokes, who was looking very good the previous day, and he was being partnered by Matt Pryor. Now, what was good about this partnership was that I would say the partnership had taken the score from 220. They started. Once play started on the fifth day, well, it was not as hot as what it has been for the last 4 days. In fact, it was a bit cloudy too, so that was really aiding the swing and movement for the Australian bowlers. Those Australian bowlers definitely extracted a lot of movement, even though it was the old ball. I thought they did a wonderful job in bowling the right lines. But what was another good thing, another factor in Australia's favor there was there were a lot of cracks on the pitch, and the ball probably, certain times you have seen that the ball actually pitched and scooted through. Once we have also seen the ball pitching on that particular crack, and eluding everybody, eluding the batsman, eluding the keeper, and flying away past the slips for a boundary. So these were certain things which were happening, and it was so after looking at the cracks, one would have thought that Ben Stokes and Matt Pryor has to really pull out something. They have to really get something, do something great, and it would be all coming down to their skill as to how they actually deal with the bowling, the Australian bowling on such a cracking track. And what was very admirable was that Ben Stokes and Matt Pryor, what they did is they decided that occupation of the crease is the best thing to do, and they were leaving the balls very well. They were not getting tempted on to the balls which were swinging outside the off stump. And Ben Stokes and Matt Pryor slowly started building a partnership, and this partnership yielded 76 runs. And in the midst of that partnership, in fact, they waited and waited. As far as the old ball was concerned, they were not taking any chances. They were not trying to hit a lot of boundaries. They were just content to stay at the crease and block the deliveries. Probably as and when an opportunity presented itself, yes, definitely they could score a boundary. But the old ball was not doing it for Australia, And then, but one thing that I would like to say here when I'm talking about the old ball, well, the old ball was not doing anything. We saw Ryan Harris in action, the Mitchell Johnson in action, we saw Peter Siddle in action, but nothing was really happening. But and then we also saw some very good strokes from Ben Stokes. Now Ben Stokes, what was good about Ben Stokes is his defense was absolutely impregnable. The way he was actually timing the ball, way he was stroking the ball was absolutely a treat to watch. It was flowing from the middle of his bat, and his pull strokes were, I would say, pretty powerful pull strokes. He knows how to play the pull stroke. He keeps the ball on the ground, which is very good. So what was good about this Ben Stokes batting was his controlled batting there, even though he hit some good boundaries, but it was pretty controlled batting, and especially considering the fact that on this particular pitch, which was cracking, with the Australian bowlers really breathing fire there, but still I thought Ben Stokes is, according to me, is a real talent. I'll still talk about him, but I'll come back to that later. But just talking about this partnership, so nothing was happening with the old ball, and then Michael Clarke, the Australian captain, had to summon the new ball. But before one point that I would like to like all you dear friends and subscribers to note here is that we didn't see Nathan Lyon in action, because one would have expected Michael Clarke to actually give some bowling to Nathan Lyon too, especially considering the fact there were a lot of cracks, there were a lot of footmarks, and as you know, spinners are always helpful. But I was a bit surprised that Michael Clarke decided that he didn't try to, even though he gave an opportunity to Ryan Harris Johnson and Peter Siddle to swing the ball, especially considering the Wacker pitch with lot of bounce. Nathan Lyon could have been, I think we could have been given a try, because when you look at the latter part of the game, when the new ball was taken, and there was not, even though he used Ryan Harris Johnson and Peter Siddle, Nathan Lyon came in and picked up 2 wickets, and not only that, he picked up the very important wicket of Ben Stokes for 120 with 18 fours and 1 6, and he also picked up the wicket of Graham Swan, who was caught at forward short leg. Now these were all because of the lot of cracks on the pitch, so I was a bit surprised at that particular place, I would say, when I was probably thinking that Australian captain Michael Clarke would actually bring in Nathan Lyon and then try it out and then probably go for the new ball, but well, probably Michael Clarke had other ideas. So what he decided is to summon the new ball. So the old ball, unfortunately, could not make any much effect on this English batsman. As I said, they were absolutely completely dedicated to that task. They were absolutely, there was a tremendous application shown by both the batsmen, and then the new ball was taken, and once the new ball was taken, we also saw that strokes flowed, with Ben Stokes playing some beautiful strokes, some very good drives, some flicks, and he also he was playing absolutely in the right territory. And Matt Pryor also played some hit some good strokes. And then finally the stand was broken when the score reached 296, as Mitchell Johnson got a ball to actually swing away. Now that was the new ball, and Matt Pryor for so far had really showed lots of resolve in not going and fishing at a ball outside the off stump. But the new ball was, the new cherry actually swung in, was going outside the off stump. Matt Pryor had a waft at it, probably wanted to cream it through point, but this time he got the feather edge, got a sort of a feather edge into that, and Brad Haddin behind the stumps did the rest. So Matt Pryor was the first wicket to go, caught Haddin bowled Johnson for 26 for 3 fours, and that would have been a huge relief for Australia to see the back of Matt Pryor, because he was really digging himself there. So he was gone, and after that it was Ben Stokes. So Ben Stokes decided to play some strokes, and Ben Stokes did play some very good strokes. As I said, Ben Stokes went on to his maiden test century. In only his second test, he's just 22 years of age, 120 with 18 fours and 1 6. So that really gives you an idea of how well Ben Stokes played. And not only that, one thing that I would like to talk about Ben Stokes is extremely talented, because on a pitch which are showing all signs of wear and tear, a pacey and bouncy pitch, lots of cracks on the pitch, and the Australian bowlers absolutely on fire, in the sense that they have been absolutely buoyed up after their 2 test match victories, and they were bowling pretty well. They were bowling in the good areas. The new ball was taken. everything considered, I think Ben Stokes and his play against spin was also very good. Looks to be pretty aggressive. Likes to take on the attack to the bowlers, and I think Ben Stokes, England have definitely found a very good replacement now, because Ben Stokes, I'm sure he's a player for the future. Just 22 years of age, and he is a total contributor because his batting, bowling, fielding, everything, and I see no reason why that Ben Stokes should not be cementing his place in this English cricket team. So Ben Stokes, absolutely congratulations to Ben Stokes for his maiden test century in only his second test at the age of 22, and I think he's a real talent. He has strokes all around the wicket. If you look at his wagon wheel, he had strokes on the offside, the onside, behind the wicket, front of the wicket. He plays all types of strokes, and I think he's a real talent which has emerged from England now. Well, so good luck to Ben Stokes. So after that, once that was over, Ben Stokes did his duty. As I said, Nathan Lyon, was a bit surprised that he was not used with the old ball, but Michael Clarke summoned Nathan Lyon with the new ball, and that immediately gave him a reward, because he took the very important wicket of Ben Stokes, who was caught by Brad Haddin of the bowling of Lyon for 120, 18 fours and 1 6. So once that Matt Pryor had gone, suddenly things started happening for Australia, with Lyon once more picking up the wicket of Graham Swan also, as Graham Swan got a ball which he actually got a ball to bounce, and Smith at forward short leg took the catch. He was gone for 4. James Harrison was the last man to go, as he was caught by Bailey. He fended at a ball from Johnson, which actually lifted on him, and Bailey took the catch. Bailey took the catch at forward short leg, and he was gone for 2. And Stuart Broad was not out on 2. Stuart Broad was not out on 2. He came in limping, but not out on 2, and that was the end of it. I'm sorry, dear fans and subscribers, there is sort of a disturbance here, because I have some fire alarm just doing some tests. So I'm sorry about it. Please bear with me here. But yes, the score is, so after that, England, as I said, 296. They took on the score for the 6th wicket between Matt Pryor and Ben Stokes. Other than that, there was nothing to really talk about. After that, once Pryor was gone and Stokes was gone, there was nothing there, and Australia quickly wrapped it up and regained the Ashes by getting England all out for 353. For Australia, Stephen Smith with that century from a position of 143 for 5, taking Australia to a very good total there with this century that he got. That really gave him the man of the match, and it was perfectly the right choice. And then looking at the bowling figures, Mitchell Johnson 25.2 over 6 minutes, 78 runs and 4 wickets. So it was pretty fitting that Mitchell Johnson actually helped Australia regain the Ashes by taking the last wicket of James Harrison, and so he took 4 wickets for 78 runs and 1 for 73. Harris bowled well, 19 overs 2 maidens, 1 for 73. I thought he bowled without luck yesterday because the ball was hitting the cracks and moving in a real ashtray, moving in a way where it was not really going on to the batsman, but it was going, as I said, past the slips. So Nathan Lyon, 22 overs 5 maidens, 70 runs and 3 wickets, proved a lot there. And Peter Cyril 26 overs 11 maidens, 167. Shane Watson bowled 11 overs 1 maiden, 1 for 39. Australia leading the 5-match series. They have already regained the earn from England that they lost in 2009. And now we have only 2 more test matches which are coming up at Melbourne and Sydney, and England will be hoping to save some face and regain the lost glory, in the sense, even though they can't regain the Ashes, at least they can have some consolation by trying to win that, but it's not going to be easy. Australia are breathing fire right now, especially they would be buoyed up with the fact that they've also won the 3rd test match and also the series and regained the Ashes, and England are the ones who are going to find it difficult. But England have done well in the past at Melbourne and Sydney, but well, we have to keep fingers crossed, and I'm sure the English fans and the English friends and subscribers would be hoping that there'll be some change of luck for the Englishmen, and yes, they would definitely take one thing in this match, and that is Ben Stokes' maiden test century. It was a wonderful knock. Really, I think he's a real great talent, and as I said, I see no reason why Ben Stokes should not be a permanent feature of this English lineup now. Well, so let's get on from here. So as I said, I wanted to cover in greater detail, and as you know, in fact, it's a very well-earned rest for Australia, and they would be really absolutely roaring with delight. But as far as England are concerned, they would be mulling over it. But yes, they would be mulling over it. But yes, all of them would be pretty happy to celebrate their Christmas with their families and then get ready for the Boxing Day test, which is going to be starting, as you know, on 26th, as is a custom in Australia when any tests are played in the month of December. The Boxing Day test starts between Australia and England at the MCG, the Melbourne Cricket Ground. So until then, there won't be any Australia-England fixtures. But let's turn the attention now with two matches coming up, as I said. I'm going to cover in a very brief manner. I'm not going to go into any of the details. But for India, let's talk about India. India are the ones who have been struggling here in South Africa. This was a tour which was pretty shortened. There are only 2 test matches which are going to be played. India have already found out that coming here and playing on a very short tour is not so easy because you need time to get acclimatized to the pace and bounce of the wicket and also to the climate of that particular country. And Indians have found it very difficult. We've already seen that South Africa have dumped India 3-0 in the one-day series. They've already done that. And now it is going to be a stiff examination for India. And one thing that I would like to say here is that for India, it is a very new look team, especially considering that the maestro Sachin Tendulkar has also retired. So this is the first time a test match is being played sans Sachin Tendulkar, as you know, and also it leaves a very wide gap. So after the retirement of Sourav Ganguly, Rahul Dravid and now Sachin Tendulkar, this Indian team is looking like an young brigade. So it's a lot of, I mean, you can't expect much, but for India, well, they can put their best foot forward, try their best, because I think also they have lost the practice game which was there before the first test match, which is going to be starting at the pacey and bouncy Bullring, which we call it fondly, at the Wanderers in Johannesburg. And for India, it is going to be a stiff examination. Murli Vijay, Shikhar Dhawan, Chiteshwar Pujara, if you see all the youngsters, Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, Ajinkya Rahane, this is the composition which is going to be India's test future, according to me. And then the bowlers, Ishan Sharma, Zahir Khan. It would be good to see the Zahir Khan duel with Graham Smith. As you know, Zahir Khan has always had the wood on Graham Smith, and Graham Smith is not in the best of form. He'll just come back from his injury, and that would be a wonderful, wonderful exhibition. I can't wait to watch Zahir Khan holding the ball to Graham Smith and see who wins the battle there. But Graham Smith, I'm sure he would have learned his lessons, and he would be probably also guarding his wicket against Zahir Khan and probably thinking that his bat will hold sway over Zahir Khan's deliveries from now on. As far as South Africa are concerned, they have gone into this particular game with 3 pace bowlers, as you know, Dale Steyn, Morne Morkel and Vernon Philander, but also they have included Imran Tahir. So that has come as a bit of a surprise for me because I thought that Imran Tahir, but one does not know, probably South Africa feel that he could be a surprise packet against the Indians, and that's the precise reason they have included him, probably due to the bounce of the Wanderers pitch. But I'm sure the Indians are very good at leg spin. But again, it all comes to having probably South Africa want to really make sure that they have one frontline spinner in their ranks, and that's the precise reason they've decided to do that. Well, okay, so I think we should have a good game. It's going to be a stiff examination for India as far as this particular test series is concerned, because they have been it's a very short tour, short of practice. It's very difficult to adjust, but one has to see what India comes up with at the Bullring at the Wanderers in Johannesburg tomorrow when they take on South Africa in the first test match of the 2-test series. Well, from here, let's shift on the focus to United Arab Emirates. Well, as you know, the one-day the T20 series was leveled 1-1, and now Pakistan and Sri Lanka will be crossing swords at each other when they take on each other in the first one-day international, which is coming up, of the 5-match one-day international series, which is going to be played at the Sharjah cricket ground. But as far as Pakistan and Sri Lanka are concerned, they definitely played a very, very well contested T20 match where Sri Lanka scored heavily, and then Pakistan really made a real fist of it till such time they lost by 23 or 24 runs. But as far as Pakistan are concerned, it is going to be another real crunch game, according to me, and Sri Lanka would also be looking forward to it. So other than that, I don't have anything else to share. And the match would be starting at 3 p.m. I'm told, so the toss is going to be a vital factor with the dew coming into focus, and I'm sure the whichever team actually wins the toss would actually insert the opposition first. That's it from me, your host Ram, for the Cricket Happening Show for today. See you all tomorrow. Until then, it's goodbye from your host Ram. Thank you.